Recording has started.
Okay, great. It's 10:01. We're going to call the meeting to order. We'll start off by introducing ourselves in case anyone is watching from home. I'm Peg Noguera, the co-chair.
Will Perlman, co-chair.
Carol Kotras, treasurer. Elena Brugos, I'm on the select board.
Bill Shipley, member.
Donna Sun, member.
Betsy Edsel, Megan Elders, Vice President.
Amy Wilson, Community Senior Services Director.
Ann Vandersloot, Secretary.
Excellent. All right. Good morning, everybody. I know Ian is always great about getting the notes out the same day that we have the meeting. We usually get to see them. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to review them, just to refresh your memory, in case anyone has any questions or comments about them. We took a lot of notes. It was like 4 pages on.
Yeah.
Job as usual. It's really, it's like you're taking it down word for word.
Well, I tried.
Great job. That's why you think you're replaceable. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the report? If not, may I have a motion, please, to accept the secretary's report as written?
I make a motion to accept the secretary's report as written.
Thank you, and Donna Son, kids, seconded. Okay, perfect. All in favor, aye? Okay. Treasurer's report, Carol, you're up.
Treasurer's report.
Yes, I'm sorry, can I preface this?
Yes, of course.
Dan was at the center yesterday. Right now, I'm trying to untangle all of our accounts from last July when we started the new Springbrook program. I just recently got access to it on my new computer, and it's nothing like our old computer. And so I do not have any beginning or ending balances for us here because I walked it back to the last accurate report we had was for June. And then I'm going piece by piece each month to make sure. And unfortunately, I found some deposits that were put in the wrong. They were put in the gift account. They were debited from the gift account rather than the food pantry account. So I'm kind of walking you through. So what you have here today are donations and expenses. That's it.
We're looking at a huge donation here.
Yes.
That's incredible. Anyway, go ahead, Carol, you're up.
Okay, donations for the COA gift account, $1,945. It's from the Friends of the Mendon Elders. Reimbursement cap speed limit over the sign.
Yeah,
Yeah,
signage.
which puts the cost.
6 donations in memory of Ronald Spindell,
I didn't know he passed away.
$475. 1 general donation for 25. The COA pantry account donation of $1,200. 2 private donations, 1 business donation from Southwick Soup.
$1,000, that's.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
They're very generous every year, like twice a year. They do a lot of food drives for us, under the wire, but they also sponsor our newsletter.
Expenses, $350.90. And pantry stock from Market Basket, $350.90.
Okay, what kind of stuff are you buying? What kind of stock are you buying?
Okay, so we're buying flour, sugar, oil, salmon, tuna,
All the basics.
all
really.
the basic cereal, all the basics.
I think you might have had to buy personal, but like soap or anything.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes, but people will donate those mega packs of bar soap that come in like 60 from BJ's or wherever. So we're actually, I haven't had to buy bar soap in probably a year.
It was
We buy
lovely.
hand soap, laundry detergent, paper towel, we buy the paper towels, toilet paper, tissues.
Yeah, we get some donations, but we have to buy a lot of it. We don't get enough donations.
So nobody donates beets, cream corn.
Oh, yeah, I know, I gave the last can of cream.
Yeah, so there's certain things, and we're doing a big drive, of purchase this afternoon, we're using that senior center van. So I've got volunteers
okay.
going, and it's gonna be like a supermarket fest. Mayonnaise, we buy all the condiments. When we put the notice out to the universe, we do, through Elaine, through Alana, we get a pretty good response, but not enough to sustain us,
Yeah.
so.
Are you buying cranberry juice?
Yes, we're buying all the juices, the apple juice, cranberry, apple cranberry, so we are running, but I'm okay with letting the stock, the inventory get low so that we,
Because it's space. Space.
well, not just things, but outdated. So we just shipped off 6 boxes of outdated food yesterday to Stelter down in Rhode Island.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they'll take it.
They'll take it. Daily Bread over in Milford will take things up to 6 months outdated. So our policy is that it can't be outdated. So we have volunteers that are going through weekly. So yesterday, 6 boxes went out, small boxes, but still.
Yeah.
So who sends out the thank yous? Anna, is it you send out the thank yous for these donations?
No,
Because
no, but,
we
yes,
could probably even post something on our outside board. $1,000 is a huge amount of money.
I did send a thank you to Alan Tatro.
Yes.
We talked about that, but as far as all these go, I've got to.
yeah, no, that usually
Donating.
comes from our department. And honestly, and it should be on the top of the priority list, but it's not right now. Now that we've got a couple senior workers that we could utilize, we could
Yeah,
start
I
getting those.
really think that should really be acknowledged. That's a huge amount. Okay, any questions on the treasurer's report? No, we have a motion, please, from someone to accept the treasurer's report as written.
So I'm just, part of the treasurer's report is the next page.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Carol,
So-
want to-
So we're in really good shape, we have like 44% of our budget left, which is right on track. The place that we're kind of lacking is in wages, and so that's something I have to work out with Kim. Because of either union issues or none, or longevity issues, there's not enough money in my salary line item. And there's, I think, more than enough in the employee salary line item. So to get us through the end of the year. So that's something I will be taking up with Kim. And I don't think I was alone in that. I think when we had when we had negotiations for cost of living increases and such earlier in the year, the salaries weren't adjusted for those increases. So I'll have to talk to them.
There is enough money to get you.
So they'll talk to, so they'll probably have to transfer money from someplace else.
All right.
But otherwise, our expense line items are right on target. We're just under 50% and we just have a few months left to go. But we have some of our biggest expenses coming up too, like Tri-Valley is $1,000 for, I usually have to hunt them down and say, please give us your invoice.
Yeah.
Because we want to get that off of our books. So, but, come along.
All right, great. Can I get acceptance to motion to accept the treasurer's report as written? Donna, second,
Second.
Bill, second, first, all in favor? Okay. Okay, director's reporting.
I'm going to
You
keep
can
it,
intersperse if you want.
yeah, I'm going to keep a couple of things very brief. One regarding, because I didn't put it under old business, the van driver issue. HR has, HR didn't realize when she came into the job, what the previous HR director had done was have left it on Mendon's website that there was an opening, always an opening for substitute van drivers. And I was of the thinking that it was still there. Apparently it was not. So she's put it back there now. So there will always be, so we don't have to, create an opening for that. So that's there. Also, one person that has expressed some interest, I have emailed them a copy of the application. I haven't received anything back. So have talked to our drivers. We may be losing Mark, so for the summer. He's got some family obligations. They have a home outside of Massachusetts. So, but I have talked to our other driver, Wayne Phipps, about covering. Mark has been phenomenal about covering for Wayne in December for
Right.
Wayne's training.
Takes the month off.
Wayne has trainings throughout the year. He has vacations. Mark has covered, without DPW batting an eyelash. So we was reciprocating and said that he's willing to cover the summer, and we could actually make it work too. Mark only works 1 day a week. What that person does in 1 day a week
Right.
is phenomenal. But what we can probably do with, driving, we can probably kind of push some of those driving requests off to different days. So maybe I only have him working 3 days still. We still have the same amount of hours we have to kind of divide by. So driving work, I'm kind of on top of that, trying to hire someone that would be a backup for us.
If you got that backup, would there be funding for?
Yeah, well, then we still have the same amount of
Yeah, and
hours.
if
Oh,
Mark,
I see what you're
if
saying.
Mark's not working his hours, the other person would be paid his salary.
Right,
Oh,
right.
oh, okay, that's.
Yes, so it's only 21 hours for the two of us,
Right.
so. Also just wanted to make you aware that, enrollment for programs has been really interesting for, not just for Mendon, but for other towns. So I don't know if anybody saw, we have a program called My Life, My Health coming up. It's a chronic disease, evidence-based program through Tri-Valley, 6 weeks. All the other evidence-based programs we've done, we've had like waiting lists. We've invited other towns to have their seniors attend, and they likewise do us as well. This one is really interesting, and maybe because maybe there's a stigma attached with it. It's for caregivers and or the individual with chronic disease, asthma, arthritis, COPD, you name it, the list goes on, cancer. And so we're just, finding that people, I've got one person signed up and it's a caregiver. Tri-Valley has one person. Their minimum is usually 10. They're willing to go as low as 6. Well, we put it in the newsletter. We put it in the newsletter twice. I've had it in the little free press. I've had it on cable. I've done blasts with it. I just can't quite figure it out. Well, I got a call from Hopeville yesterday, who's partnered very nicely with us with things. They actually mailed the actual flyer to 800 households. And she called me yesterday and said, has anybody signed up for it? And I said, no. So we're not sure if it's the time of year or what it is, because all the other evidence-based programs, matter of balance, waiting lists, the memory programs, waiting lists, set powerful tools for caregivers, waiting lists. So not quite sure, but we are using and same thing with, we had a program that I canceled for today for people that are turning 65. Because again, I've used all these methods and we only had one person sign up, and it's really kind of cute. The person that signed up is somebody that I sent the advertisement to post, and they chose to sign up for it. And unfortunately, I have to tell them, we're going to cancel it. I can't have a presenter come out. For one. I could have a shine counselor meet with that person. So
Now, is Hopedale doing that same program? Because maybe they would take
No.
our one.
no. They were sending them
I see.
to us. So we've got a really good reciprocal relationship with them. We did, and through the memory program, we had a really great response. We had waiting lists every time for that. So, and Upton, when I made Upton aware of it, right off the bat, the new director said, I've got somebody this would be great for, but I haven't signed up. So it's just unusual. Maybe somebody, maybe it's the time of year. It's the time of year, winter, much, but
It's Tri-Valley sponsors.
evidence-based, yes, program. So this would have been our first time. Over the years, I was told we were too small. We didn't have a private space for this program. And so I made sure we had the van available to take people to Milford, to take people to Bellingham. Wherever this program was being offered, we always had someone attending. But so this was my first, our first chance to host it here in Mendon.
What day was it going to be on?
It was going to be on Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 3:30 for 6 weeks. Free.
I'm just wondering, did we have any other activities that week? Because I noticed the fun activities, there's a sign-up list on both sides.
Right.
So I just wondered if
No,
maybe
no,
they,
no, 'cause that's on a Tuesday. Programs are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. No, Wednesdays.
Those are one-shot deal. Maybe people get to,
Yeah,
to make a commitment.
it could be,
That's
but
a good
matter of balance. We had more than enough. And people, I was surprised that people, 9 out of 16 people made it every single week for an 8-week program, matter of balance.
people our age are afraid to fall. Really, that's the kiss of death.
It could be. So, but we said, we're still waiting. We haven't given up because next week's supposed to be the first class. So I just thought it was unusual that, the only thing I didn't do this time around, sometimes with these programs, I send notices to local churches. And sometimes we find, clients from there that, and I didn't do that because I didn't want to end up having to turn people away, but
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It sounded like you covered quite a
Yeah,
bit.
you really did.
Yeah.
And Hopedale did too.
And that little, that bulletin that comes out, doesn't that go to Upton too?
Yeah.
That-
Actually, very good point. And actually, that little bulletin did bring in 3 new people for the chorus, which 2 of them had to drop out for different reasons, but still, yes, so Upton people are.
We're
looking
glad to
at
get that newspaper back.
Yes, yes, so, but anyway, that's all I want, and everything else I have to say.
Just
I'll-
intersperse.
first.
No problem. Okay, Donna goes to the Tri-Valley. She's our representative.
There's not much to say this time. We did go over, like, when they go over the budget stuff. I just want to bring stuff that's gonna mean anything to us. They did talk a little bit about the nutrition and about those meals. They cost $9.30.
Each,
Yes,
and we pay 3.
yeah. But does it look like $9.30 to you?
But I think it's all the hands that go into making
I
it.
don't know. I just,
It's federal
I wish we
funding.
could do better. Really wish we could do better. You know, and why are we feeding high sodium meals?
You know, and well,
And it flashes high sodium.
yeah, there are a couple, like, at least 2 a month, be it hot dog or other things which are popular. I will tell you 2 other senior centers that I know of, Uxbridge and Hopkinton, have their own meals. They've gotten away from those meals, and they paid, their friends group paid $65,000 a year to have a meal plan or program running. So they are expensive. So you know, it's not just this, it's all the things that go into it. But yes, I think, you know, it would be nice, especially with an expansion, with an expanded center, that would be one of the best things to, like, you know, kind of spearhead our own lunch program.
So I feel like the $3, you could make like a nice big pot of soup and a nice sandwich and feed everyone, and it was, you know, am I right? I don't know.
But you need someone to spearhead it. and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Uxbridge, I know Phyllis, who comes to play mahjong on Thursdays, she always goes to lunch at Uxbridge first. She always raves about the meals.
homemade meals.
She just does. She says they're made from scratch, they're homemade. She said, and there's such a variety and everything that, you know, she's always getting her meals. And that's pretty much the needs.
They had great kitchens, they had a part-time chef that would come in and
Yeah.
do all that stuff.
We don't have the financing for that, but
The room.
But we have volunteers too that would be willing to do some cooking and prepping and.
You're hired.
do we
Yeah,
run
not
into
really.
problems though when that happens, when you have outside food coming in?
I don't know. You know, I'm sure you have to take that safety food test and.
Yeah.
That's the job Melissa did for Valentine's. Day.
Yes, she did. She did. It was- Yeah, and we're gonna have shepherd's pie for St.
I could
Patrick's.
say the Board of Health might be involved that way, but if it was being prepared at the senior center and they had all taken the class, say people were making it at home, nobody knows what the conditions are in their
Absolutely, no, I understand.
kitchen, you know?
But it's good. It's good that you have that desire. I think it's something to work towards, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much, there wasn't too much else.
Because I
Mostly
don't,
budget.
they don't even look appetizing to me. They don't,
Mm-mm.
I don't feel like, oh, I have to have this. Here's my $3.
It's like nursing home food.
Well, you know, those green beans yesterday, I mean, so they're canned anyways, and then they're putting in the oven and they're sitting there and then they're sitting. Are they any nutrition in that left?
Probably not,
No,
probably not.
I don't know. That's just, I just like keep looking at the food and I'm just like, and I know some people are happy and it's the one nice warm meal they get, and I know some, they're gone. You know, it's not like we're throwing it out, they're eating.
All right, well, I'll keep it on the back burner.
Sorry. My,
But
Debbie Downer.
we have somebody who thinks there's a lot of money.
Once we get our addition.
I stopped eating it because I was putting on weight because it was all uneaten.
I know what you're saying. Okay, Betsy, you're up. It's, the Friends next.
I see this.
The Friends of Mendon Elders held their meeting on February 13th. The board approved the budget of $5,100. President Dottie Garso will be away the entire month of March. She reported that the taxes are at the accountants, will be ready when she returns, and the COA will be notified when they are received and sent in. The application to hold a yard sale has been sent in, but at this time, the approval from the select board has not been received. Chris Jem has agreed to be the chairman of the yard sale with past experience of running one, and Dottie Garso will be her assistant. The yard sale is June 10th with no rain date. The Friends of Mendon Elders has sponsored 3 events this month, which they paid for, first being the Ukraine War versus Putin presentation that took place and was well attended. March 14th, was the senior center's annual St. Patrick's celebration event. The orchestra one will perform. And March 30th, there will be a cheer bingo event at the senior center sponsored by the Friends. There will also be pizza and salad served, and the fee will be $5 if you wish to stay for that. Walter Ramsey is our new scholarship coordinator, and I will remain as an assistant. The scholarship requirements have been rewritten and approved by the board. The copies on the bulletin board at the senior center and copies of the requirements and essays required have been delivered to the schools by Walter Ramsey. We currently have number 60 dues paying members, with more added each week. Our donations from seniors is over $1,000 and being used to support all programs at the Mendon Senior Center. Our thanks to all for paying their dues. Their enormous donations are greatly appreciated. Home still has a volunteer t-shirts at $18 with checks payable to the Friends of Mendon Elders. The trip committee has 3 trips. We have a really, there's so much detail for that. See the bulletins in your newsletter for details. Are called the Sanders Speak with Steve, Beverly View, or Donna Sun. The Dairy Queen fundraiser was well attended and happily reported. Check which received $410. I think that's our biggest, with our thanks to Ann Halsing. Our next meeting will be on Monday, March 13th at 10:30. The meeting will be, the next meeting after that in April will be April 10th with a 10:30 fellowship and an 11 a.m. business meeting. Our thanks to all who attend and to all who work so hard to keep the Friends of Mendon Elders programs going. Thanks to Lana Mars, our new fellowship coordinator, who keeps the fellowship hour sign-up sheet completed, and those who donate their times and talents to make it a great time and great place to meet and read guests. Respectfully submitted, Betsy.
Good job.
Thanks.
You know what I'm happy to see? You're getting a lot of people that are willing to come forward and share different things.
Yes,
That's
they are.
great.
They are. There's a lot of people volunteering.
That's really good.
We need that.
Because you can't have the same ones doing it over and over. No, you get burned out.
We've got new people coming forward. That's great.
It is wonderful. Yeah.
Some 2 things, the bingo that we're having is music bingo, not chair bingo, but you are sitting in a chair, so. Later this month, and then music bingo. And then regarding the scholarship, it said requirements and essay, so are they going to still be requiring volunteer service? along
Yes,
with an essay?
yes, I have the volunteer service and it says that in there, I have a copy of it here, that they have to get donate the full amount of time before they give the check. That way, anybody that has not volunteered any time still has the time between cutoff date to at least apply. So it leaves it open to all of them. I know Walter had asked about adding another school to it and said it would be discussed, that's a big step. We'll talk about it. But I don't know, we can't do it this year, so it'll be discussed by board members and anybody that has an opinion on it. He was looking at for Fall Yankee.
Yeah, I think previously there were, 2 scholarships to wherever, so it didn't have to be Nipmuc and WT. It could be Norfolk Aggie and
Mount St. Charles.
St. Charles. And
Yes.
so, but it was just 2, it wasn't, just one to each of the schools, but
Right,
that's
it's kind
certainly.
of late to do it right now, but
Two.
we certainly are.
You're doing 2 though, 1 to each.
Yes, we are.
That's
Still gonna do
great.
The 2.
Wow.
Now, do you come up with an alternate name in case that person doesn't follow through with their hours or something? Do you, in other words, or do you just figure, we're gonna keep the money and not award it?
That's exactly what happens. We don't come
All
up
right.
with an alternate.
Okay,
They've got, hopefully we'll have more applicants this year because there's a lot of kids that have really volunteered.
yes, they have.
And we'll have more kids applying so that it'll be a larger choice. But,
I noticed you wrote in here, right up at the very top, board approved COA budget.
yeah,
Is that, what
no,
budget?
she
Don't call it
said
the
it's
COA
actually
budget.
at Friends.
Is it the Friends budget?
It's the
Friends
Friends
budget,
budget.
so it's.
Well, it was how it was presented to me. I'm
That they
sorry.
subsidize
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Like Amy's got her $500 in case there's an
Yeah.
emergency over the
Right,
summer.
subsidized.
Yes.
I should refer to it as a Friends budget, shouldn't I?
Yes, I just put a board approved budget.
Okay.
Because
So it's almost like our
Yeah, 'cause we
request,
just
it's almost like
It's our,
our
it's our
request.
request along with some friends' requests, mixed in. Like, for example, there's a bulk mailing permit that the
Yes.
friends purchased. So I don't know that you necessarily would call that the COA budget. It's the friends. The friends also.
Write that, just.
Yeah,
COA,
and it's okay,
board
you know,
approved
friends
budget.
get.
Could we do, say, what if we said friends/COA?
Yeah,
How about that?
good.
That's fine.
That would kind of cover both.
That is what it is.
It's nice to have this in writing too. We can follow along with you. That works good
It's the
for us.
best I can do with bigger print.
Are the scholarships mainly for seniors?
Senior,
I mean, senior students.
high school,
Yes.
high school students.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fine, you want to go back to college?
because I was just thinking of one criteria that we have at ABMI when we give scholarships out. And we don't give them the money before they go to school. We wait to see their grades after the first semester. If they pass, then we give them the money.
Okay,
That's a good point.
Yeah, I know.
Throw that
you
out.
have a very substantial, you give out $1,000 scholarship, is that right? Yeah.
That's so we don't throw the money away for someone who wants out of school.
But do you have volunteer hours as part of that? You do, so they still have to do volunteer.
Either at the senior center or at school. Either at the ABMI
Also,
or school.
all right. Yeah, I didn't know that, but they also do an essay. And your students do an essay, applicants do an essay.
That's a good point.
All right, thank you, Betsy. Okay, old business, food pantry update.
I'm gonna ask Ian.
Sure, go ahead, Ann.
Well, we kind of was talking a little bit about it already, that, we're using up the food that's there. We're getting low on all the real essential things, so Amy's going shopping today, and we're gonna get everything all stocked up again. But it's going along great. I mean, on Friday, you have people that come in and.
The Friday of it, yeah, distribution this month, we had 11, so we're
Oh,
increasing.
wow.
So when we first started, we did one person per each half hour, so there was for safe space. Now we're doing two, one can be on one side of the pantry, one can be on
That's
the other.
good. Oh,
Yep, so we're trying to have more people kind of go that way, that can go that way, to get down on the deliveries. The deliveries, we're gonna be sending out a notice this month stating that we're reevaluating things, just like everyone else, food stamps, the government is evaluating folks that are getting that. And so what we want to do, we've been doing a lot of deliveries, and some of those people have their own cars and they drive, and we're want to step back a little bit. So we're going to be doing fewer deliveries, but we're making everybody aware of it. So,
Mm.
and they can come in the shop rather than, if they would prefer. So it's going well.
Is some of the problem, the weight of the boxes? I'm thinking, because I have to tell you, I did make a delivery. And it was an oversized box and I struggled with it. And I'm not really weak, but I struggled.
Our van drivers are struggling with it too.
I can imagine, but I'm
so-
saying if the people who were having deliveries, they were delivering it right into like the kitchen or something, right? Or are they leaving it
No,
at the door?
they usually bring it to the front door. So, we're trying to, we could use more bags. We use like every recyclable bag that's ever been given to the senior center. All the paper bags that are given to us, we put our paper products in. So we could use some more bags. We do need to buy some more boxes from, I did send Mark to buy some at Home Depot. He bought that.
Well, that's a big.
They're called medium, but they're huge. The small are
Yeah.
a good size, so,
I try not to overfill the boxes.
It's hard.
It's a lot of canned goods are heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
take-
juices and
Yes.
bottles of juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yesterday, I found a bag, it said, "Happy birthday," on it.
Yeah, use it anyway. Hey, maybe they'll recycle it and use it. I just wondered if part of the reason why they wanted to live it is because they're struggling with the load.
well, no, but if they're coming to shop for themselves, they should be bringing their own bags.
Oh, you tell them to do that.
Yes,
The ones that they can just use again and again.
yes. But like this last week, like, oh, sorry, I forgot my bags, Please. bring
I
them
bet
to
you
the
if you posted a sign up in the center, that you would take some of those recyclable bags, because I know that I have a few in my
front.
car.
Yes.
It's like they hand them out to you at the bank, or everywhere you go, they hand you out one. But,
We'll put it in the newsletter.
yeah, and then we can just wash them and then they'll be there. So you're reusing them rather than,
We're going very well.
hard to get paper bags.
It is.
Like when you go to Big
Yes.
Y, you gotta pay for them, it's 10 cents each.
It's a really.
We use the paper bags for the, they can call them paper bundles. You put the toilet paper, the paper towels and
Right.
tissues. So I gotta have bags for that. I can't use all those up.
No, they'll just fall, they'll just fall over.
Can you
Okay,
take used paper bags? Like, okay, all right, I've got a big bag of them, so.
okay, great.
I've got a bag of bags, yeah.
And we're gonna, you know, we have the box down at the gazebo too, if you
Yeah, all
just drive
bottles.
by and they're in your car, just stop in and throw them in that big box.
Yeah, it's huge. It's one of those like Rubbermaid ones. And you might even see some food in there, because people go at their convenience, and that's fine with us.
Yep.
Because it's checked every day.
Would smaller boxes also be useful?
Sure.
Like, I mean,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
all right.
for sure. And those can also go in the big box.
Well, I just, they go in the recycling,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
they can be used.
Yes.
That would be great.
Okay, Phil. Now I'm gonna talk about the senior center expansion, begin at meetings and things. So the floor is yours.
Let me give you an update here. I get handed out a document as well. Just to recap what we've done since last month. Amy and I were involved in a lot of this. We had a meeting with the affordable housing folks. They came down, Ann and Jack. Hunter. And they talked about what the new project is next door to us. And there's some common interest of where we should interact, on land and water and septic. But we may need additional acreage to handle this septic system. So that's a work in progress with some discovery. I talked to Joe Frisch. He's worked on the well system, original well system and septic design. And he gave us a lot of good insight of what we would need for occupancy rate to septic usage. So that was a good conversation with him. He's willing to ask us questions, answer questions, and he'd be somebody who engaged once we get the article approved. He's currently working with other groups here too as well, including the land next door. So he'd be an excellent resource if we do get the. Had a meeting with Lonnie, Selectman, to discuss and gain his support. He's very supportive from it. I met him at the post office briefly in passing. Apparently there's a lot of funds coming in, requests. And I said, but still we need this. Because we can marshal the troop to town to do something different than the meeting. But we still need the support of select. So I'd ask you to go back to your team. So we really need this as article this year.
I'm happy to support that. I think we're,
Well,
it'll be talked about on, next week.
yeah, well, we'll be talking more about it at the meeting.
Yes.
But we need to keep pushing. He's full support of it. He's support of
Lonnie?
presenting it once we get it past the meeting next Wednesday, I guess.
And you said he is taking care of that, writing the
He's
article.
writing it.
What kind of an article? What is it gonna say?
Basically, it says, engineering services, $50,000 for the senior center expansion. That's basically all it's gonna say,
Engineering and architectural.
engineering and architecture.
How close will we tie now with the affordable housing project? Is that going to be, this is going to be a combined presentation, or are we still going to be separate?
We're gonna be separate. I don't want to get tied into it, because even if we go well, to get the article approved and move forward, we may be done with our project before they get done. There's more federal,
But the well and the septic system and all that still have to be worked with them.
we just need, acreage needs to be worked. We're not sharing wells, we're not sharing septic systems. You know, future down the road, 10 years from now, 15 years, when we do a water system, we'd have a share, but we're not doing that. But because of the discharge of per person usage calculation, you need to have X number of acres to support the discharge. So in discussion with Ann, we potentially could use open space area, which is behind the center expansion, the housing expansion. So there's other ways we can do that. But we need to stay in sync with them, because we don't want them to give all that land away if we still need some. Or use it for something. So this coordination we need to use.
We have an acre. We were given an acre.
We were given an acre, there's speculation that it wasn't officially transferred. Lonnie understands it was given to us. he recognized it. Shouldn't be a problem.
No,
But an acre's not enough. Based on the maximum amount, would be up to 10 acres.
really?
It's a head count.
You're talking about for the septic, the runoff and all that?
It actually just needs acreage associated to the septic system. You don't need to run pipes through it.
No, it's just that,
It's based on the capacity
Of
of
the
the number of, like now we have 50. This would be upping the new center to what,
Well, the-
100?
the
no,
original-
more than that.
No, the original building that everybody spec'd off of was the big plant, which was
Oh, yeah,
450 people.
150.
So we cut that way back. We say, Amy and I talked about 250. So, but we still would need more acre. Somewhere that support 250. Not that we ever produce that water a day, not that it goes out the pipes a day, or not that we use it, but it's the state government mandates that this use facility requires by the number of people that can sit in the facility.
So where would those other 9 acres come from the affordable project?
They can come from the affordable, the building space for the affordable housing. There's only been 3.5, 4 acres built on to build the buildings out of the 70-some acre lot, I believe. So there's other acres that the town owns.
it's landlocked though, right?
It's landlocked, but they could assign it to us. There's acreage behind the housing, the highway department and us.
Okay,
There's acreage to the right of the housing,
highway department.
highway department that they could assign to us. So just a matter of identifying the acreage and then putting some kind of a association to it. We don't take transfer. We have the right to
To
use
use.
it.
Yeah, I think Carol, we had talked about, it'd be like, let's call it like a great room, but something so we could hold like our senior of the year thing. So I think you were hoping it would be like 120. And, you know, so that's just for that room plus all the additional.
And I think some of the goals we have, when I talked to, next bullet down, Mike.
Yeah.
Who's the architect who worked with the original design with a partner, then came back with a straw man proposal which reduced the size of it. I spoke with him and I said, the presentation that you made to us with the 4,000 expansion, which was the reduced size, to make the budget smaller, will not be enough. Probably needed to 6,000 square feet. Roughly. So he's going to regenerate that presentation.
What's that gonna do with the cost of, like,
No, actually, he thought it's still about $3.5 to $4 million, including the post-pandemic versus the $11 million. Big-
yeah, that was pie in the sky. We knew that.
We called it the Wellesley plan.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, if we're still looking at 3 to 4 years out, the cost of construction just keeps going up.
It's not- the pandemic killed us by at least.
It did. It slowed us down. Well, hopefully it's not that far off. Hopefully it's
Well,
not.
If my concern, and I think we all need to be advocates with select people. And and we can also, I believe, in this town, position an article without select.
Yes, yeah,
And if that's the case, I would personally.
yeah, so, I mean, I believe, right. Yeah, committees can post articles.
Yeah. But no, I think it's important. Lonnie's behind us.
Yeah.
The town is facing a large amount of expenses this
Yes,
year. And I'm saying we have a very small budget.
right, and well, and this is a one-time ask,
One-time.
right, so those are because it's not an ongoing,
We're not.
it's not a change to
Do you want to
the
talk
annual
about it?
budget, so, but I don't know specifically where the funds would come from, but I think Kim is looking into that.
Yes, well, yeah, Kim was going to, hopefully it was a spot.
It sounds like it, so it's on our agenda next week as well, so.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I don't know,
yes,
if it's something.
sorry.
I know to know.
no, so I believe it's on the agenda for next week as well to talk about the, this request for 50,000 to put the article in the
Okay.
town warrant. So, but we haven't, the board has not had a chance to discuss it yet, so it didn't make it's budget season, as you know, so it didn't make it onto the agenda for last week's meeting, but it will be discussed next week.
Okay.
And so, but yes, I guess, my understanding is often the requests for one-time amount are a little bit easier to get through than those that are about the continuing.
It's a non-recurring.
Yeah, so that, I think that should make a difference, so, but yeah, I don't know too much yet because we haven't discussed it yet as a board.
Okay.
One,
Sorry about being so quiet, talking to someone next to me, I forget
I'm
to
sorry,
interject, yes.
We're
sorry
having a
about-
conversation.
We're gonna
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll
It's
speak.
gonna be nice and loud today.
I'm fine.
one further point of clarification. We were given 1 acre.
Yes.
6,000 is 900 feet over 1 acre. Does that mean we have to ask the town to give us another
No,
piece of
not,
land?
not necessarily.
Where does the extra acreage come from?
No, I think there's a couple of alternatives that Mike was talking about. Could build back or build down. Convert the system down below and put an elevator.
And we already have the 6,000 square feet if we need.
If we needed to, we could do it in footprint that he proposed, the second proposal. You could get 6,000 square. feet.
And Ann's husband luckily was at the meeting and he said, if you want the elevator, put it in right from the start. He said, because it would be terrible to have to go in and do it.
And that was Mike's recommendation as well. When I talked to him this week. Put it in.
Why all of a sudden are we feeling that 44,200 is too small?
Well, Amy and I looked at the plan that Mike proposed, the second. It was felt that there was one big room, which we wanted, but there wasn't an additional room of a good size that we could run things like exercise programs, yoga programs simultaneously. You had that problem where you couldn't feed a group of people and also run a program. And if you just do partitioning walls, I know there's soundproof walls, but if you just use even those, there's a noise factor you have to worry about. So looking at that, the office structure, my wife does facilities for the Northeast for the FDIC. She looked at some of the room sizes. They're not quite cramped, they're quite small. They're not practical for people to function. So some of the office spaces should be a little larger, some of the storage could be a little larger. There may be use for, Amy and I talked about, it. If you have these people come in like Lions, the Friends, maybe there's dedicated areas that's multi-organizational use areas. So Amy doesn't have to tear them down, build them up, tear them down, build them
Yeah,
up.
that's awful. Even the other day when the man was there speaking on the Russian-Ukraine situation, there were games going on upstairs and it was so distracting. The man was speaking in such a low volume.
It's like me.
And we're hearing the games in the, it makes it very, very difficult. It's too small a space for our needs now. So we're happy that we've got some backing.
Yeah, we just need to, we all need to push real hard. And we will next week.
Well, as long as the price doesn't get too out of sight, because then the taxpayers are gonna.
And did you see that there was something about the library too? The library is looking to expand.
Yeah.
Not, in the
They started on Facebook.
strategic plan.
Yes,
So the hope is to expand the hours.
not
not-
just the
So
hours.
at this point, I mean, I think they do hope to, I think it's always a goal to expand, but there aren't any immediate plans to expand the space. So they're hoping to, I think, institute some hours that were cut years ago.
Well, I know that they were closed on Mondays and they have been having signs
Yes,
of saying,
but that's-
have you
that's
missed
about right.
Mondays?
So that's about hours. So they are hoping to increase their hours a little bit. But
I think we've been told by the town admin and by the select board that we are next on the list, for.
This is gonna be done first. In other words, you've got to get this town hall finished.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this,
Well,
The campus, so.
essentially though, we need to move forward with ours,
yes, we do.
engineering phase minimally, because you're gonna lose a year. in my
Well, we're glad you're on, because I gotta tell you, it's above my pay grade. I mean, I wish I understood this stuff more. I'm glad and I'm so glad that your wife is getting involved in this too, because she has that knowledge. I have to say, I don't have the knowledge, but I do have the heart about. being in the senior center.
Let's see. Meeting with Mike, we talked about Mike, and he's working on should get to me this week, just a regular cost estimate to put in our pocket if we need it.
Okay,
And I'll talk to Joel to see if we can get a cost estimate from him in our pocket, not presenting it. And he's gonna give me a better capacity breakdown, so we can go to the sewer piece to find out how many acres and all those things. You know, Amy and I had a bunch of thoughts. It goes to the next point, Peg. You and Amy talked, you and I are gonna be working on this
yeah,
together,
that's fine.
which is super. We just need to coordinate some time probably this week if you have.
Yeah.
So we can kind of figure out how to position some things for the next steps.
Sure. Before when, because I'll be at the selectmen's meeting.
Yeah,
too.
next
Three of
step.
us are going.
Yeah, next step is Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
And Amy's provided a summary of services, but I think we need a good storyline. Say where we're deficient, why we need this expansion. I mean, this is good numbers, but the numbers need to be positioned for where we're going,
I mean,
why we need to go.
one thing that Peg just said is absolutely true. Trying to hold, trying to hold activities simultaneously is difficult. Trying to hold one activity after another, we're breaking down.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that.
That's too much.
The time and the energy that's expended on them, breaking down tables.
Not having privacy for, things such as, we're not offering it right now, but when we did for podiatry. We've got, a collapsible wall giving a person, podiatry, with
Yeah.
podiatry services privacy, and it's.
Yeah, if you look at our setup, it's really, there's a big room that gets to be noisy, because it's an activities room. Then there's a place where you can squeeze some people in to do some performances. And you can do feed them, but it's not big enough. It's not, doesn't support people. There's no independent rooms to do anything.
No.
And the staff sits in the middle of the room, they can't answer the phone. It's,
Luckily during COVID, we were able to go outside for some of our things
Yes.
because we could social distance.
Tai Chi out in the
Yeah,
logic core.
Yeah, that was,
so, there's a lot of needs, but I think it's, these other bullets coming down here. Number of usages and why we need to expand. I think you and I, Peg, with Amy, will talk the message and the storyline, be prepared to pepper the selectmen well.
Don't take it personally.
And the request was 50 for engineering services, which is architectural design as well. And an article putting on. And I will continue to work with Joel and Mike as they're coming up with proposals for how to spend this 50,000 and what we get for it. And then the marketing plan, I think that's what I'm talking about as a marketing plan.
Okay.
Let's get to this meeting, talk about why we need it. Once we get to 50,000, going to the town meeting, I think is another campaign. Make it more visible in this town.
And get the seniors to go as well.
Yeah, the seniors go, my daughter's in the children's section, right? She has 2 kids that go to our school system. Easy group to get pulled together. And they're probably the best organized group in town
I'm sure.
because they're always fighting for the schools.
Yeah.
right.
So we'll put the wrath of them on our side. My daughter, makes sense. It's an easy sell. Short money, easy sell.
I think it's really important, somehow, we gotta get the word out, that the younger taxpayers in town need to understand how important the senior center is and how much is it costing. Well, we have the food pantry there, number one, which fuel assistance from there.
FEMA, the emergency,
Yeah, we're emergency
heating and
response.
cooling.
And that it's not just a place for people to come and play cards and
We have all the
socialize.
medical equipment.
And we supported the town
I
for all the prior years.
I didn't know any of this until I walked into the buildings and introduced myself to Amy.
Most people, unless they're,
So, you're right. It's
We
wrong.
don't.
Yeah, they think it's just a place to socialize,
Yeah.
people to come down, play cards and have lunch and,
So I also need to be prepared, I'm thinking now as a devil's
Go
advocate,
ahead.
for somebody to ask, what did you do with the first $50,000?
Oh, yeah, we had, what was it,
That
20
figure just made me think that we did get
Yep.
from the grant.
We had 20,000 from the town, and we got 50,000 from, yes. the
Okay,
state.
Yeah.
we know what we did with that, but I just think that's
Well, maybe
something
that should be
that a common person
yeah.
might have. But
We did some
also with
preliminary, we
50,000.
did some preliminary, wetlands mapping, we did, soil borings. Unfortunately, we were kind of left holding the bag too, when somebody left our board. And we had to figure out what to do with that money before the end of the fiscal year. We did,
You did improvements.
We did improvements, we did
Existing
improvements to the parking lot, half the parking lot.
Oh,
which
that's
is-
right.
Yeah.
That should be in the, when you do your report though to the finance, don't you think that should be mentioned in the report?
Well, I'm just thinking someone could say,
If they ask.
If
they
they-
ask, don't go forward with it.
Well, if you look at, yeah, I think Annie, to you said the $20,000 gave us these two documents which show what the scale would be, magnitude. It didn't go into the detailed engineering design of the facilities, how many acres. Did not go into the detailed design of the building. It took some needs assessment, but a broad brush. And then the other pieces from the grant, we used part of that for this, but we used most of it for improvements to the existing building, which saves the town money. We put it in a parking lot, we put it in different places.
Yeah.
We didn't throw it away.
No.
That was step one, that was baby step. Now we want to do a little exploring here and get down details. That we could go to the town, say, this is what the thing is.
That's a good point,
Good
though.
point, good point.
Good point.
Yeah, that is, that's good.
I'm just asking that question, James.
All right, and the last dot point approved, then, yeah, the board chooses a committee.
Yeah, this is, I told Lonnie when I met with him, you picked a committee who you wanted to be on it. He also indicated that Jack, is it?
Yes.
Jack, who's
Jack
part,
Hunter?
would be an excellent person to have be the project kind of lead for us. We would, I'm assuming Peg and I or anybody else on this team would be part of the COA.
Section.
But-
Dave Kersey has.
Yeah, he stepped
Yeah,
right up to the
Dave,
plate.
I mentioned that Dave was interested in line, thought that was good. So, but the select board can pick.
Well, actually, when we visited the police station last month, I noticed there was a plaque up there, and I was asking him, are any of these people still alive and in town? No, but I mean, there were a couple of names left that he said, you know, they would be good.
Support him and help.
Yes, yes.
Well, Chief Kirby himself wants to be.
Yes.
on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was the first to step up.
Mentioned it more than once, so I think he really wants to.
Yeah, so I think, but that'll be the next thing. But we've got, at the end of the day, the town either goes for this, you know, hopefully we get it through the meeting next week. And we get support of selectmen. And if not, then we do something different. We do an in-town petition to get $50,000. Visit the select board every meeting for the next 6 months.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. That was very thorough. And you know, it's good to have, I always like to have it in writing in front of me.
It helps.
When I'm listening and I'm trying to, yeah, you do.
get different parts of it.
This was very well done.
I mean,
I appreciate it, really, I do.
It's
Because
Could be a
Bill
lot.
and I were saying, this is not our pay grade.
Who came on to this late?
I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
So, yeah, good. Thanks, guys.
That's involved in a lot of work.
Yeah, you have done a lot of work already.
Yes.
Just-
But I can tell you're into it. You're into it, so that's good. You're the right guy for it. Let's talk about the next dot point, which is driver safety on Providence Street. We have got we've got the signs, the flashing signs up, but, most of us think that 40 miles an hour is still a little too fast for someone to see the sign and start applying brakes. My husband was with me the other day, and it's one of the rare times that he drove. And he said, you know, the bad thing about seeing that sign, he says, is because right above it is 40 miles an hour. He said, I'm only going 33, but my reaction is to step on the gas. Because, oh, I could be going 40. And he's like, that's not really what you want to do.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah, because he was only going 33. He goes, well, I could be doing 40. Oh,
Oh, yeah, good. Close.
let me get my seat.
So I have put an email out to Chief Kersey and also Alan Tatro with the Highway Department saying, where is my board and where do we go to?
So done that. So actually, Chief Kersey said I could stop by after the meeting today. Did he say
Yeah,
that to
yeah,
you also?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Good.
Don't
Go over
forget
and
me.
make that.
Oh, good.
So I texted him off today.
So the signs and what, oh, I'm not even going that
How do we
fast.
do this? How do we petition that is? Even if I push 35.
Right, yeah.
Right, well, that would be more in
What's Applewood? You know, Applewood, a new neighborhood, does it have to be thickly settled? What is the, how do you determine what the speed limit is?
slow walking seniors.
Yeah, so.
We can't run across the street anymore.
That's-
K-U-R-C-Y.
CZY.
CZ.
KURCZY.
CZ.
Yeah, so we'll go meet with them after this meeting and then we'll have.
And Elena's going with you?
Yes.
Okay. Get the facts, I gotta get the facts. Nothing but the facts.
Yeah, that would be nice. And I wonder how long that process would possibly take.
Yeah,
It's a town road.
it's a town road, although I guess there are also, I spoke to Mike Morale, the select board
Yeah.
chair, about this also, and because I know he's got a lot of experience, but it sounds like there are limits on what speed limits towns can have that are actually legally enforceable. So I think there may be some state laws to investigate as well. But it's not to say that it's not solvable, but anyhow, not, well, right. It may not be a quick fix, but we'll learn more. We'll find out.
Because when you go past the senior center heading down on Hartford Avenue, that drops down to like 35,
Right.
you know, because people are
Right.
turning off to go to Blackstone. And then when you go this way, it's
Right.
35, then 30.
Then 30, then 25.
Then 25.
Right.
So it's almost like it's really just a short amount of
Yeah,
road.
so, we will definitely ask and find out, because there may be other solutions.
Well, we tried with this, with the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Right.
That was,
I'm surprised, one thing Upton does is they own those signs, which are, like almost a $3,000 sign. But what they do, because I know from my commute, is they move it. So they've had it like on my commute, it was in one area for, I want to say a couple weeks. And then one night I was driving with my husband and I said, oh, there's one of those signs here. When we got there, it was gone. So they moved that. So, because that is an investment, but they, instead of keeping it there where maybe you become anesthetized to it, they move it to a different area. I don't know. And that was never even posed to us as a being a possibility. But hopefully dropping the speed limit will ultimately.
and there'll be a learning curve
Yeah.
because people already know what the speed limit is in their mind. And then if you change it, all right, well, you can let us know. You can put that on the agenda for next month. You can do a follow-up as to what you're meeting with Chief Kersey, how that went. Excellent. Thank you again. Okay. Okay. The budget, yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
select, the meeting is next Wednesday at 8. Oh, we're on at 8:30. Is that when we're on? Okay,
if
that's
it
okay.
changes, I'll let you know. Yeah, as far as I can see, we're all set. Our budget is the same. Our expense line items are the same amount of money as they were like 15 years ago. We're not, we've got cut through the years and we built it back up. We're not asking for a lot. I did ask him to send me, and she did just recently send me all the salary line items so that I could see those and be aware, everybody's getting like a $1 increment,
But that's a union issue. In other
Exactly.
words, it's,
Actually, technically, I'm the only person in the union. Everybody else being part-time, in its position is not a union. Something she's determined, I guess. So, but yeah, but we're all getting the 2% cost of living, what it is, so. Yep, so as far as that goes, what I will do before that meeting is I generally, in case anybody wants to know, I will go in and look at contract services or like anything that has to do with our building and maintaining our building, pumping the septic, having something repaired, anything. I go back and I look at prior years to see what are our typical expenses, and we generally stay right on track. The van, the same thing. We've been so fortunate with that van. I've just heard such horror stories from other, like Upton and other centers that have had to sink so much money into their transportation. I did speak recently to Upton about that, and I basically told her sharing transportation with them, this is a little aside, sharing transportation with them for an electric car isn't really going to help either of us. I said, we use ours when we've needed to. When our van has been sidelined, we've used ours. And that's something that I added to our annual report, just because, electric vehicles are kind of becoming a thing. But as far as meeting with everybody next week, I'll be as prepared as I can, usually we don't get asked a lot of questions, but the boards, FinCom and the select board, they can look into all the financials and kind of see where we're at, see how much money we've used so far. But like I said, some of our expenses, we don't start, the bigger ones, we don't start spending them until now. So I've been trying to stay on top of
We
it.
have a very modest
We
budget.
have such a modest budget, such a modest budget. Well, we have a lot of volunteers that do a lot of work for us, you know, that we don't have to pay for. So like landscaping we pay minimal, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
It's very-
So I feel pretty confident. I mean, I don't see that there's anything that they're gonna really question that we're being not frivolous, I guess.
No, that's not enough of everything.
No,
Just to be an earl, because I know cost of living in my house goes up every year, just inflation. It's hard for me to see that our expenses, shouldn't we add a little bit into the budget because?
well,
We had that break on electricity,
But yeah, we had a break on electricity. Oftentimes, we are told, no increases, basically,
Understood.
level funding, level services, level funding. Level services is one thing, because if you're, for some reason, the expenses to provide those services increase, you have to increase it, but oftentimes it's level funding. So I guess I'm really kind of geared that way, and especially when we're going to be asking for 50 grand.
I understand.
You made a good point before. We were cut back there for, so that we had to get built back up again. So even though it's the same as 15 years ago, that there were increases actually to get us back up.
We were cut back to $4,000 at one point. But fortunately, we had a benefactor from the public that came forward and gave us $9,000.
Yeah.
Which I stretched over 2 years, and I was chastised for not using it all that first year, but I'm like, what am I gonna do next year? So, the townspeople, the public comes through to help us too, so. But I do hear what you're saying, so, I think working for municipal government is a little bit different, sometimes, but,
I just watch all the other government agencies. Not municipal.
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just concerned, that's all.
I think they appreciate our, the fact that we're frugal, but also when we've had money in the past left over, we've always returned it to the town. It's a good faith effort to say to our taxpayers, we're handling this money as responsibly as possible. Like you say, through the benefit of that volunteers and staff, I have to say this, and I say it every month, but the staff goes above and beyond. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've ridden by the center on a weekend and I see the little car in the back behind the wall.
You mean
That's when I get my
the gray car?
Yeah, so, yeah,
That
so
part, yeah.
it's her, yeah, it's her. I mean, it's like, but we appreciate it. I want you to know, we, as a board, we appreciate all of you, all of the hard work that you
Our
guys do.
staff is incredible.
All right, moving on. Okay, conflict of interest training 2023. We have to have it done by 3/20. You were going to send that to me. Did you
Oh,
forget?
my apologies, no.
That's good. You already did yours. I did not. Anybody else not do it?
I didn't.
I didn't do the new one,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you have
I
to.
gotta do the new one.
Yeah.
all right.
Can we come down sometime and use the computer upstairs?
Give it a try. I'm trying to think how the guys did it last year, because Mark and Wayne did theirs, but that was the old system, so I'll have to. And see, you don't have an email address,
It's
so,
time.
so we
Not at
might
this
have to
point.
do you under my email address or something.
And there's something you print and sign and you give it to Amy?
I would like to know, for the town clerk, you don't need to. She's able to get access to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need-
If you do, if it want to be completed, if you let me know, just because I do keep a list to make sure that, our whole, I think
And
we've got a really
I
good
was
shot
getting
of
everything
our
on-
department.
Yeah. I'll get on it. As soon as you send it to me, I'll get on it.
Sorry.
No worries.
Anybody who's working with an Apple phone or an Apple computer, you can't use Safari to open it up, because I tried over and over again different ways. You have to download Chrome.
Mhm.
You may already have that.
You told me that the
Yeah,
other
if you
day.
have a non-Apple. no problem.
That's probably why
I
it
have to
worked for
change
me,
my
because I use Chrome.
I told you that. It's taking me a few minutes.
I sat through it twice that afternoon, because my husband's on the Board of Health, I mean, I'm not the Board of Health, the planning board, and he did it, he sat there, I said, you're sitting there with me, I'm not gonna do this for you, all,
Right.
I did my own. But the questions were different, each one, it's not the same questions, when you get to the question, his questions were different than the ones I had.
I thought they were better questions, more, like,
Yes.
the first test I took, I was like, what? I couldn't even understand the question.
When's the last time a person came up and offered you $50?
I know.
Seriously. They might have their hand out in my pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know.
I'm like, who's giving me gifts?
That's. All right, well, we'll
Here.
try to get that done. Let's try at least to get it done by the 20th, which gives us like 1 day.
Yes.
All
And then
right.
Amy will let us know if we're lagging.
Yeah.
Now the annual report and statistics, you did send them out to all of us.
Yeah, so I made a few changes based on some feedback I got, and also, as I said, I added Dorothy Layton to it as our oldest senior. She was still the senior came last year. And it was always my intention to do that, but when I actually worked on the document, I forgot. So I've gone to her not once, but twice to ask permission because she's very private when it comes to her age. I did not list her age.
You don't need to. You don't
No.
need to.
So that, and as I said, I mentioned the electric car, which I hadn't done in the first draft that I sent you. I did send it out to everybody yesterday for you have one more chance to look it over before I do a final edit, or not edit, but review, and then send it off to the select board office. So, and I think I had given everybody, hopefully I've given everybody a revised copy of the statistics. And I explained to you that so those evidence-based trainings that we held, I had to get their participation records from the providers, from the of those. So between those and say volunteer records, volunteers that hadn't been putting, they were new volunteers, hadn't been putting their hours into my senior center. It's important that people do because, and I love Tri-Valley people because they're awesome. They put their hours in. Everybody else, if I know that the people that are doing Panera don't, I know they're doing it every month, but then I go in and I say, they don't have anything since 2021. I have to manually put in their hours, which they should definitely get, credit for that. So, so the hours were updated, is it overkill to show the difference between 21 and 22? We didn't normally do that before the pandemic, but I felt that it's good to see the comparison and how we're going up incrementally. I had given Phil a copy of 2019. In 2019, our annual number was over 12,000 people. Here, last year, we were up to 8,000. The year before, it was only 3,000 during the tail end of the pandemic. So we're getting there. Our numbers are increasing. I'm very impressed that our statistics for under 60 is kind of between 10 and 11% annually from one year to another. Looking at 2019, it was, I think that was actually 12%. So we're kind of steady with how many people we're serving under the age of 60, between 10 and 12%. So, yeah, just, I think this is information too that I have to provide to the state as well. And their reporting system has changed a little bit. Now it's on the computer, which is, I guess, better or worse, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm kind of, I'm pleased. It shows what we do. I don't know if you have any questions or.
Any questions?
I think the annual report, when you read that, you realize how much is really accomplished. I mean, there's a lot. that we do.
I know it's a cumbersome document, but I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, I looked at last year's, the library, I think the library's report was like 5 or 6 pages long. And granted, ours this year, I think came out to 3.5, and then with the page with the statistics, so. I try to make it relevant, and I try to make it so that statistics work together with the report. So if you read the report but not the statistics, you still have a sense of the numbers. And if you read the numbers but not the report, you still have a sense of what we do. And Earl, I did, I don't know if you saw, I added the medical equipment loan for last year. 72 people borrowed equipment from us. Just yesterday, I had young Mendon person. She's not yet a senior, but she's going for hip replacement surgery and she came down to get all of her equipment. You know, and I'm very appreciative that she's able to do that free of charge.
Yeah.
And then she can give it back when she's out.
That's right, that's right.
People good about giving back the equipment?
Absolutely, yeah. We do, in our computer system that we can keep, I put it in there that, just as a reminder that they have a year. People with the equipment, they don't want it here. They'll,
No.
after 3 months, they give it back.
Yeah, they want to give it back as soon as they can. Yep.
Okay, good job, and thanks. Okay, volunteer appreciation, that is going to occur on May 17th. There's been 2 meetings, Donna and Carol and I met as part of the committee to see how it's going to go, what we're going to do. The theme is like a cowboy type thing, and we found a few things. Like, do either of you want to talk about it, or do you want me to just do it?
Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good talker.
Oh, no, I mean, it doesn't matter.
She is.
We picked out, of course, we already have bandanas. We have bandanas for everyone to wear. And we spent the time trying to put together what we'd like for an invitation. And I think we found one of those catch-all things that said, "Thank you kindly." And so we're going to have that across the top of the invitation. You were going to send us some stuff about the invitation. Okay, we're going to meet anyway. We have another meeting scheduled by the end of the month, but,
Do we have a date on that yet?
yeah, I think we did. We did, hold on.
Oh, the 22nd?
Thank you kindly. Hold on, I'll show you. See, I didn't want to put together anything yet. I think you found, did you find that, Donna? Was it you who
No,
found
it
that?
was her who found it.
Carol found
Yeah.
it, yeah.
But the invitations had already been purchased, the theme was already, so we're just gonna try to use what
That's
there
right.
is.
Yeah.
That's
It only makes sense.
Well, there was a couple of things too. I suppose I have to pass my phone around. I mean, it's just so you can get kind of an idea of what we had. We decided on, just so you can take a peek at it. We decided with the tables that, and we may ask the council to give us some additional funding, because apparently we only have $300. Is that what we have? We have $300 to feed and decorate, and we are up to about 40 people. About 40 people, and you know, food is expensive, you know, these are our volunteers, these are our volunteers. You might have them, Carol, already, and I know Donna does too.
Yeah.
But just to see, we're trying to make the tables look better. And if we ask you for money, it may be for some of the decorations. We thought we would give everybody, this is just from Oriental Trading, this is nothing expensive, like a $3 cowboy hat. And then they can wear their bandana. And so, and then I think it was either Donna or Carol, they've been finding these things. We were on Pinterest, you know, the Pinterest app. And there were these mason jars, and they were painted to look like a cow, you know, with the brown and white spots. And then inside it had sunflowers.
Yeah.
You know, these are our volunteers, and there's so many people who have given like over 100 hours. I mean, you know, and actually we were able to include just about everybody that was on the list for hours, and with the numbers that we have to limit ourselves to. So we would love it to be kind of like a really nice thank you. So keep that in mind, because we'll meet one more time, and I'll give you the date before we meet.
Yeah,
And,
it's the 22nd.
Yeah,
At
at
11
11 o'clock.
We really haven't had to spend that much money.
We haven't done it the last couple of years.
Yeah, we've had well, we gave them something. Didn't they drive up and we gave them
Yeah.
a bag or something?
Yeah, we're gonna feed them, and we didn't really count the COA members as sitting down at a table, because we wait on them. We usually do stuff, but the food is all gonna be prepared ahead of time, and we're looking at Olivas. We decided on Olivas, and we were thinking of kind of like a Western type thing. We were thinking cornbread and pulled pork slices, coleslaw, potato salad. We're gonna get those little containers, we're gonna fill them the day before, and then we'll have the food out, and we'll be we'll be making sure that we serve them. In other words, they can take a little plastic container of potato salad and coleslaw, and we'll take care of the slices. We're gonna do watermelon.
Have to keep it, don't you have potato salad?
Yeah, we figured that because that will be easy to make ahead of time. Mac and cheese would have to keep warm.
That's right.
So everything would be, a watermelon, we said, and then we were thinking about something else for.
Churros.
Oh, churros, yeah, Amy mentioned that.
Oh.
Or
yeah.
cornbread.
That would-
Yeah, and
We're gonna
cornbread.
do the cornbread to go with the food though, no? Is
Yeah.
that dessert or?
No, that's not dessert, that goes with the
Yeah.
Was
food.
it, are you gonna do the cornbread casserole or just cornbread? I think even just cornbread is.
Just the bread.
I think maybe the cornbread might be a better choice than the casserole.
Okay.
I do
Because
too,
that's with
yeah.
sour cream and corn and
And
But I
that
think
probably has to be
regular-
warm, that probably has to be warm with
not
cornbread.
necessarily, not if it's made in the morning.
I don't know. And of course, everything's gonna be disposable. Everything's gonna be disposable, but it'll be us pretty much waiting on our volunteers, even though we're volunteers, but we'll be waiting on people, and that's fine. So we're not part of the 35 that are actually being seated at tables.
But you are all going to get an invitation because you
Oh,
were
yeah.
all volunteers.
And we'll all eat after, like we always do.
Or we eat on the run.
They serve two-handed drinks.
I like that.
We didn't really decide on beverages, I don't think, did we? We'll bring that.
Root beer is a good Westboro. I was real loud, yeah.
I was just gonna say that root beer.
Root beer would be nice.
I think it's
Root beer.
Something different, that we don't have to be pouring.
CHIRROS.
CHIR.
When we meet on the 22nd, we'll try to firm up all of those things. And we still got time because it isn't until May 17th. But anything that we're going to order for decoration, if we decide we're going to ask for money, we'll ask for money at the next meeting.
Yeah. And so you had asked a couple of things or expressed that 11 o'clock in the morning would be better than the afternoon.
Well, because we have entertainment, we've got the magician.
So, well, yeah, so, but I was saying, I checked with the magician, 11 o'clock was fine. He was fine either way. So 11 o'clock with him. I did tell him our theme and I did ask him if he would humor us and he said he will try to do something that's appropriate to our theme.
It's fine, it's
You know, I
okay.
said, even if you wear this, I think we should get him as a sheriff's badge, you know? You can get those at the dollar store. You can wear a cowboy hat and I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we should definitely have him dressed in the theme.
Chaps and.
Well, I'm not going to ask for money for that.
He's a good sport.
Do we want to bring in like a bundle of hay and put it in the car?
Yeah, you were
Well, we
talking
did talk about that
Talked
too.
about that.
Like at the entrance, we talked about the bales of hay and some flowers. We only met once and we were mostly all on our phones trying to look up ideas, but we all seemed to find something
We're
that
gonna order those white hats with the star.
to cover. Well, I'll have to ask for money for that.
I think we should, just in case of shipping, just so we.
Yeah.
So
Our
we
local trader is pretty quick. They are pretty quick, but, let me see, our next meeting is, not till the 12th. That would give us a month.
I think Carol's right, though.
Yeah.
I think anything that.
All right, well, they were,
We're sure
I
that
think they
we
were
want.
$36 for 12. They were like $3 a piece.
Seems like the 300 will only cover.
They were $3 a piece.
Yeah, 300 is nothing. If you ever throw a party, they were $3 a piece. My phone is over there somewhere. It was under Oriental Trading and
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you looking for your phone?
yeah,
I could have walked over there and gave it to you. It's okay.
I thought those white hats were less,
really?
but I think they should get ordered.
All right, well, then I'll have to make a motion to. They were under Oriental Trading, that I know.
Little trail mix, happy
So
trails.
we don't have,
That's right. Did you see that on there too? There, we had the little bags. We found the little bags.
It's like a giveaway.
Because Amy's got, can openers, or jar openers.
it's like a 5-in-1 implement that we had purchased for this event 3 years ago. And it's something that we had all approved at the time, but, they came in 3 different colors. These are red and blue, the black that didn't come in, but so what, it's got a can opener, it's got, you name it, it's got it. That's 5 different things, and it says Mendon Senior Center loves its volunteers on it, stamped on it, so. And I talked to our former employee Laura last month. She said, I gave her one before she left.
Oh.
That,
She was-
we probably did something like that, thinking we were gonna use, if it was the Weston theme, like somebody said, root beer or something, cans
Yeah.
along that.
Bottles, yeah. But I like the idea too of the trail mix too. So the-
Yeah, we
the
like
trail
that.
mix and-
Remember
and
you were
this-
singing the song, you thought we could.
I always think
Happy
like happy
trails.
trails to
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
until we meet again, I'm showing my age. Smiling.
We are at the COA.
I suppose, but you don't have to be elderly to be on the COA,
Yeah.
because none of us are.
That's true. I'm the youngest one here.
All right, let me just look that up real quick. I don't
You're not
want to-
writing that down, are you? Peg?
No, I'm not. I'm looking up Oriental Trading for the hats.
So I usually,
I want to say they were $3 a piece, but because we wanted the adult ones.
Piggyback with the library, they have an account for Oriental Trade, we do not. So rather than opening up a new account, I can have Andrew, purchase them and then give us the bill.
Yeah, that would be good because then maybe we don't have to have, pay any taxes on it. Oh, it was adult cowboy hats with the star on it.
Yeah.
With stars, so come on you. And they were $32.99, so 33 for 12. Just give you a peek real quick. I know you're writing, but just take a peek.
Cute, yeah.
They already have the star on them. So $3 a piece, and people have given us a lot of hours, and we haven't really given them a party in a few years. You've always.
Right,
That's what you
right.
did.
Yeah, but I didn't think they were $3 a piece, but
Well, they're 33. I'd say 33 for 12. Well, sorry, for 30. I mean, it's close.
yeah.
I was thinking with the tax and everything too.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, and they're adult. They're yours, so.
A fun,
Yeah,
a
somebody
fun
could put
set.
that to the library. That would save us.
Yeah, did you see these? Did you see- Okay, all right, good. All right. We'll move on.
Nice.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time
Well, that.
looking things up, yeah. And with the table set up, because that's where they'll get their hats.
Yeah,
There'll
the
be a
table's
beam
gonna have
there
a
in the middle.
red checkered tablecloth
Yeah.
and the bandana
And
and
then the
the
hat
cow
thing,
thing, and then the.
surrounded by hats.
I think it's gonna be cute.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
That sounds good.
And we're gonna do little bags with the trail mix.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like they're going,
Yeah,
they're
like
little,
take
they're
away.
little gags.
Take away. Happy trails.
Happy trails. All right, perfect. Good job, ladies. New business. Amy, you want to talk about the
Yeah,
NCO?
so I'm going into the smaller rural conference. It's a snapshot of the large annual conference, but at a fraction of the cost. I think the first person is $30. The other additional 30 people have gone up to 20 previously from 10, as opposed to 200 for the state conference. So I'd like to open this up to our board and our staff. Mark Russo is willing to drive the van, as he's done before, so we can all go in one vehicle. Wednesday, April 26th, from 9:30 to 3:30. If you can let me know, I have a sign-up sheet here for, again, staff and board members.
Is that the one in Sturbridge?
Yeah, well, this year it's going to be in Devens.
Oh,
So,
for
In
Devon.
Devon,
Okay, okay, that's different.
formerly Fort Devens.
Devon's is now a town.
Oh, okay,
They've made Devon's a town in Massachusetts.
okay.
So does anybody know right now?
I know.
Yeah.
Put me down.
Yeah, I'll go on.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Yes.
So you'd want to leave an hour before, we'd say an hour, 8:30, we leave by 8:30. That's good.
I'll do that. If you don't want to take, so.
Okay, can we move on to open forum? Wait a minute, did you have something else? You got, it was something else.
CPR, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
CPR.
wanted to put CPR on the agenda. I need to take names for, we're doing CPR again for board and staff. It's gonna be on Wednesday, May 3rd, 1 PM. I think,
I think that's it.
Bill,
Wednesday,
What time?
1 PM.
Yeah,
It's gonna be 1.5 to 2 hours.
sign me up to, my thing's expiring.
Yeah, we're all excited. Everybody that took it 2 years ago,
Me too.
Yeah, we do.
anybody else?
It's gonna be the same girl,
Sue Tatro.
I'm just gonna do it at the center.
Yep. she'll be doing at the center.
The reason why I asked is because I did know Dave said, you know, he's got space if we ever need space. Remember, just
Oh,
to
okay,
spread out.
yeah.
We once did it at the fire. station.
We've done it at the fire
Yeah.
station, yeah, because the
Yeah,
other guys,
But yeah, no, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
because you get interrupted. This is the thing, at the center, you're constantly pulled away.
But not if we have coverage, somebody working on the phone, you know, so, okay, no, but I see what you mean too. All right, so I will check on the, all right, staff thing down. Staff is required that they do the CPR. The conference, it'll just be a matter of, you know, if there's anything like Janet had said, she wants to look at the, agenda
Sure.
that day and see if it's appropriate, something, yeah, if she's in need of.
Okay, moving on to open forum. Oh, do you have anything for open forum,
I do not.
Carl?
I do not. I don't.
None? Don? I see.
No.
And I don't either. I don't either. So the next,
I think we
Wow.
run the gamut.
well, it doesn't have to go the full 2 hours if we get everything done under the gun. So, all right, so the next meeting will be April 12th.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't put the time, but it's 10 a.m.
And just in case you were at the senior center, I know you haven't had a chance maybe to see this. Cheryl Fay, her name is, and we had her and she did, Ruth Fay begins. She did a great job. And as a matter of fact, my daughter who works in Milford at the library, they're having her come to the Milford Library this month
Extraordinary.
to do the same performance, but she's coming to us and she's gonna do Eleanor Roosevelt. So you're more than happy to come and get free.
When
It's
is
gonna be
it?
at 1 o'clock. No, 1 o'clock,
What day
the
is it?
same day as COA.
Wednesday, same day as COA, Wednesday, the 12th of April.
Oh, okay.
She's a one-man show and she really does a
It
good
was
job.
Very nice.
Yeah, did you go to that? Did you go to that?
And that's,
One
that's
woman show.
One-woman show.
that is being funded by the
Like
cultural.
Denver
council.
Free now.
Excellent.
One person show.
And is there a sign up for that? If
Yep.
I wanted to. attend?
Katie will sign up.
Okay. There's room for me.
Yes.
There's always room. Always room for Joe.
Well, I know, except there's not always room in the senior
Right.
center because it needs to be.
Right.
expanded.
Absolutely.
But
It's usually when there's food, you fill up very quickly.
Yeah, it is, it's food.
I think it's Cheryl Fay.
Cheryl Fay, yeah.
I think it's SH. I think it's SHE. She's got it right there. Okay, I'm adjourning the meeting. Oh,
Are we all set now to get those, the cats ordered, or do we have to ask?
well, you know what we can do? We've got $300
Okay,
already. And we can ask the next month for the money towards the food.
okay.
But we won't be ordering them the library. We'll have to
No, I'll,
firm up the number. Let's get just, because
do they,
it's
do they
5,
come in-
12,
they come in 12 packs,
12 packs, yeah. I'll send that to you. And so, because,
48 or 60? Would you, will 48 cover everybody?
well, we'll know. Well, you know what? Why don't you pop in and see us on, I came up with 37, I don't have that paper, I gave it to you. 37 names, and then we had the 7 COA. So maybe you could do 48. So that would be about 120 bucks approximately. But if you already got 300, we'll take it from there.
We're gonna get the money out of the
We'll ask,
gift account?
we'll ask next
A
month,
State account, a formula grant.
Oh,
we'll ask next month for you to approve extra money and we're gonna put it towards the food. Yeah, we probably should order those. We know we all want.
So 48,
12, 24, 36, 48. 48 should do it, yeah.
that's what I was thinking, that should do it. If there's 35 guests,
I'll talk to you about that. Okay, maybe tomorrow then. All right, adjourn.
very good.
Freezing in this. Yeah, it is. We looked at the temperature.
Yeah, a lot of